public safety meeting here. It is Thursday, January 8th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Gonna roll call here. Trustee Porter.
Here.
Trustee Keller here. Next, we have comments from the floor. Opportunity for Village of North Hudson residents, property, business owners to make the committee aware of topics, issues, opportunities on or not on tonight's agenda. All right. Nobody tonight, so we're going to move on. Next one, we got minutes approval for December 11th, 2025.
I move to approve the minutes.
And I will second those minutes, John. Anything to discuss about them? I know we had some updates, but they're all cleared.
Yeah, and you're talking about, yeah, I mean, the presentation last week was very helpful. Looking at the data that came out of it, which also made it into the notes, that had to be some more difficult notes to take, I think, from his presentation. But it looks very much so like, in my opinion, at this point, we're sitting pretty good.
Okay. So we'll just have to approve these minutes. All
sorry
yeah,
about that.
No, it's all good. We'll get there too.
Okay.
All for it, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Police chief's report. Chief.
All right, just basically data tonight. I don't have any specific old or new business to report. Took some time off at the end of the year, so not a lot of things going on, just kind of wrapping things up. But I did provide with you, or for you, the incident breakdown from the last meeting until today, or actually the 6th, excuse me. Nothing really out of the ordinary. We did seem to have quite a few EMS calls in the month of December, so people slipping or different medical situations, so those tend to ramp up a little bit. We did assist other agencies, it looks like, a couple of different times in December, so helping out where we can. The second sheet is the overtime expenses for the end of the year or through all of 2025, and we were well under the budgeted amount per officer, and then I guess as a total for the department, so that is always good news. And then the written verbal warning citation tallies are listed for you there for the entire year to kind of show the activities that are going on. And again, our goal is to try to have about 33% citations and 66% warnings, just so that we're definitely trying to educate people more than we are making it a financial burden on them to get them to comply with the law. But of course, sometimes that's we can't always do that. So, and then the last thing that I just handed out, because I just completed it this afternoon, was the 10-year or the 2025 data for our 10-year data compilation, which basically kind of shows a few things. Our average number of traffic stops per day was at 1.3 this year. The average over 10 years is about 1.1. Traffic citations, we wrote 110 citations in 2025, which is one less than the 10-year average. For non-traffic citations, which would be ordinance violations, it could be a parking ticket, it could be public urination, anything that's specific to ordinances. We had 27 of those in 2025, which is down from the 10-year average. And then 505 warnings, which is up considerably for the 10-year average. And 15 reportable crashes. Those are crashes in which it meets the criteria where we have to report it to the state. So more than $1,000 damage for one owner, hit and run accidents, or $250 or more in property damage to governmental property, which is what makes it reportable. And then we had 13 OWI or drunk driving arrests in 2025, which was one more than our 10-year average, and then only one underage alcohol citation, so that's always a positive thing. Mm-hmm. Our department caseload was 741, which is up from the 10-year average a little bit, but down for the past several years. Again, remembering that I have listed 4.5 officers because we were short an officer for about 6 months out of 2025. And then the second page is just kind of your kind of more common traffic violations that we see. It's not all of the citations that were written, but some of the more common ones that we write. So speeds, and then it's broken down by miles per hour, 1 to 10 over, 11 to 15, all the way up to 30 to 39 over, which we didn't have any. So luckily that was good. People are slowing down a little bit. I think with Highway 35 being redone, I think we've talked about that, where that tended to keep the speeds up, because it was a nice smooth surface and people didn't really pay attention to the change. And then we've got the other ones here for failure to stop for a stop sign, non-registration of auto, operating without insurance, operating without a valid driver's license, operating after revocation, operating after suspension, no seatbelt violations in 2025, and then only one violation of our red traffic signal that was actually issued a citation. That doesn't mean that people weren't warned about any or all of those things, just that these are the actual citations that were written.
Would you say mainly most of the exceeding speed is on 35 6th Street?
I didn't look at that specifically, but I would gather that's where a lot of the traffic monitoring takes place, but we do have a lot of complaints on Cratley Lane as well, and we do monitor it up there and run some speed detection in that area, so it could have been Cratley, but I would say a majority of them are going to be Highway 35.
Okay.
Any questions on the data, or I realize you just got it tonight, but if you do, let me know. Otherwise, that ends the chief's report, the police chief's report.
Interesting looking at from 2020 and 2021, what happened then, and then going back down to everything too as well. So
Sure.
that's amazing. All right. Fire chief's report. Drew?
Prior to tonight, you were forwarded the monthly call report for December, one call in the month of December, so that was good. The good news is the village is kind of going back to the 5-year average for calls. There's only 30 or 31 calls for the entire year, so that's been a plus. Again, I always attributed the 2 years of spikes in calls to the storms that have passed through, which are obviously always give us additional calls that wouldn't normally have. So that was good. All our year-end stuff, we're starting to compile all our data right now for our year-end summary. So definitely by the time we meet again here in March, I'll have that to you for review. So all in all, it was a pretty good year. I think there was only one actual structure fire in the village in 25. So things are pretty good.
That's good to hear. And we're sitting at what, 7 minutes average, looks like? Dispatch sooner out.
Yeah, I believe it's 14 minutes
14, oh yeah, 14, yep.
for dispatch to arrive, yeah.
Okay. Oh. John, anything?
No.
Thanks, Chief. And I mean, as you had mentioned too, I mean, just to let people be aware, we will be not having a public safety meeting in February, so we'll be coming back in March for our next meeting. So if anybody's out there wondering, that's what's going on at the moment. Number 7, we are on our continuation of additional of the first responders for emergency response in the village, discussion and possible board recommendation. I know that we had Lakeview EMS in here last week. He gave us a lot of great data on everything that was going on as well. I recently got to witness some first responder action happening in front of my house over the holidays, and they were pretty quick to respond as well. It was great to see, our department and sheriff's department and Lakeview working together in a timely manner. So I mean, that was a no positive thing. So it's kind of showing how we're doing at the moment right now when it comes to first responder action as it is. John, do you have anything you want to bring up for this part of everything?
Yeah, I think after some review over the last couple months, but I think, I forget the gentleman's name who came in from Lakeview MMS.
John Muller.
After his report, and looking at the data, I feel like we haven't lost a lot at all since since the Hudson first responders went down.
Which was a year ago, was it? 2 years? So
Yeah,
we've gotten,
everything's pretty stable,
Yeah.
it seems. I don't know if both of you agree, and we can always have more first responders on the one hand, but the people that help the ambulance people, but
I mean, the thing is too, is like this topic came on board when first responders reached out to us in regards to trying to put something in place, and then they originally dropped out on us. And I know that we just got done swearing in a new officer, which hopefully, knock on wood, he'll be ready to go in August. I honestly feel that we probably don't need to do any more additional first responders at the time. I'd probably think that we should probably table this until we, and revisit probably.
reevaluate.
Yep, reevaluate.
Another point in time. I'm good with that as well. I think we're in a good spot and we're doing pretty well, and I think we have a good contract with Hudson Fire, and I think Hudson Fire responding to the echo and the Delta calls is phenomenal. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I feel good about where we're at.
Do we have to move on that, or just one of those where?
No, if you're not gonna do anything, you don't have to.
Okay. So then, yeah, we're just gonna table this for now and probably revisit it probably in the summer, or once we get back into, if I see something pop up again where we need to look into it, I think that's probably the best bet right now. So, good,
Yep, good.
all right. Number 8, police department staffing and coverage.
As you mentioned, we did swear in a new officer on Saturday. He started the academy on Monday, and of course, then on Tuesday, we had the ice storm, so CVTC closed, but he did spend 8 hours in the office doing some catch-up on online training and some things that we need him to look at, so kind of hopefully get us a day or two ahead on the FTO process. As you also mentioned, our hope, if everything goes perfectly, is he'll be off of his field training. He'll be back in North Hudson doing the field training program in mid-May. If everything goes well, we hope to have him off the week of Pepperfest, which would be ideal for us. And I think for him, just to be able to, because all of us work that weekend, and so he would have other people working. For the most part, we only have one officer on at a given time, so would give him a little bit of experience with other officers working at the same time. But excited to have him on board and to get through the academy, and we'll see how everything turns out in mid-May.
Awesome.
Yeah. And, Chief, just somebody asked me the question, and I struggle a little bit, because he's starting the academy now.
Correct.
So what he's done with us and your department, our department, up until now was basically interview, no real training or anything, it's more interviewing and
Correct. He went through the hiring process and
hiring process, yeah.
did
okay.
offer him a final offer of employment back in October, but because he's not certified, we didn't do anything until right before the academy started. So he worked his prior job up until mid-December, and then was sworn in, because in order for us to get reimbursed by the state Training and Standards Bureau for his training and a lot of the other things associated, he has to be sworn and be part of our department. So he's getting paid to go to the academy at the starting wage for a patrol officer. And then, but there's I think it was probably 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, the village and the union, the patrol union, made a side agreement or a side letter that we could have a recruit officer, and then it basically laid out that a recruit officer will get paid for their time. They don't get paid for overtime, they don't get paid for travel time, they don't get paid to study. It's basically the 8 hours that they're in class 5 days a week. Because it's not really, for a 5-month program or 4.5-month program, for somebody to quit life just to go to school,
Right.
That would be difficult. And so most of the agencies now that are sponsoring candidates, which I think, as I've mentioned, the last 2 academies in Eau Claire, all of the students that were there were hired already by an agency and being paid. And so we're not getting new recruits that are coming out looking for jobs, because a lot of agencies are sponsoring.
Yeah.
And part of what they do, some agencies pay 90% of the wage, some pay 100. It kind of depends on the agency, but almost all that I'm aware of are paying their people to go through the academy. So good question, though.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, you seem like a really decent young person. I can't believe how young people look today. In fact, I thought his mom could have maybe been his girlfriend. It was his sister. I was like, oh my gosh.
It is one of those things where I find myself very often when we're in training saying back in the day, and it's
Yep.
or referencing something that I grew up with. Let's say Cheers. There's a gentleman in town that's his nickname is Norm, and I remember being in training with a gentleman and saying, "Oh, hey, that's where Norm lives. Remember from Cheers?" And the officer looked at me like I had no clue what I was talking about. So
Yeah,
the age gap is getting more
Yeah.
and more for sure.
it's there.
Yeah, and he seemed very excited to be on
Yeah.
on it, everything with us. So
And his parents were happy for
Yes,
him. Seemed to
yep.
be really excited about it too. So that's really,
Yeah, and we're happy
Nice to
the
see.
fact that he's got military background and has some service there, as well as working in a jail, a county jail. So he's got that experience with talking with people without all of the tools that we carry on a day-to-day basis. So he is excited, and we're really looking forward to get him on board.
yeah, that'll be good.
hate to say it, but we want to go through spring and summer, but can't wait for August because it's gonna be a blast to have him. Number 9, police department capital and equipment planning.
Nothing new, just the same conversations from last month, talking about a training trailer and looking at trying to get into that. With the training of the officer coming up, we're kind of trying to divert some of our attention and making sure the process is ready to go. But I would assume by probably summer, we'll have some information from the sergeant's going to put that together for, what it's going to look like and what the dollar amounts might be that we would come back to the committee for. So, but nothing at this time.
Okay. 10, future agenda items.
With 7 coming off, we're going to have a fairly benign meeting in March,
I know.
unless something comes up in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that there's no future agenda items, but sometimes it was like, I feel like there should be.
What, could we get a follow-up? To kind of freshen my memory, I know with Pepperfest this year, which I missed, you had gone out and we had worked with some other communities to use some of the protection, I forget what you call it, so that people can't just drive into the crowd.
Yeah, the barriers.
Barriers, and it worked. I saw some of those in another place that I believe are, and I heard, if I recall correctly, everybody was very happy with them. Are we going to have access to, are we going in on a purchase yet, or we are just in the area of kind of renting them or borrowing them, or?
Yeah, currently we're still in the, that we still have a request to borrow them every year. I did reach out to all the agencies, and I think I got responses from 6 or 7 that said that they would be interested, but a lot of them couldn't do anything until 2027 because their budgets were already set. So it's still a conversation, and then there's a captain with the sheriff's department that has a grant that he's applied for that would include, I believe it was 2 trailers that then could be utilized throughout the county, but that grant has not been awarded yet, so don't know if that's going to be the case. If it is, otherwise I have talked to at least 2 business owners in town that said, if it came to it, that they would be willing to donate some money to try to assist if we did some sort of process. So it's still kind of on the table. It's just a matter of we're kind of waiting on some other things to see where they go before we go out and ask for any funding.
Okay, so we're confident we'll be able to use those probably for Pepperfest next year?
Yeah, as long as Stillwater doesn't have anything going on, then we should be good.
Good,
Excellent.
really good.
Well, it's good to hear your community wants to help out as well
Yeah,
for that as well. I mean,
that
that's
is
awesome.
really nice. That's good.
Gotta love our community. That means that we are adjourned at 5:48. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Nice seeing you, Sheila.
Yeah.
Drew, nice to see you.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for coming in again.